All right, I am back to this game. Well, I've been playing it off stream, but I've been mostly, doing upkeep, collecting resources, that kind of stuff. Time to actually do the story. Oh. uh, I can't believe I completely forgot to turn my audio back on. Oh, I just started the quest, completely skipped the dialogue, but whatever. Cancel that navigation. Because I'm trying to... Yes, navigate this. Alright, here we go.
What do you think this is, kiddo? A fruit juice store?
How rude! Especially since we're here to help!
Help? Oh, yes. You're the acting Grandmaster's new hotshot helper, aren't you?
That's one way of putting it, but...
Great. Tell Jean I need my quarterly tax return forms then. It's time to get Elzer on to doing the accounts again. I must say, though, the tax rate on alcohol in Mondstadt is pretty steep. That's mostly down to Master Diluc's successful business model.
I would imagine.
Why are the accounts with Jean? Does she do bookkeeping now, too?
Acting Grandmaster Jean personally goes over all the accounts. After all, the wine industry is Mondstadt's main source of income. Jean takes great pains to make sure no detail is overlooked.
Oh, no wonder Diluc doesn't like Jean all that much.
Paimon never knew that. Jean's job is even harder than it seems.
They respect each other, but...
Grandmaster's hard work indeed makes our lives
well,
a whole lot
respect isn't
easier.
quite the correct word. They're in an agreement.
We're certainly very lucky, but to put it bluntly, we just take it for granted that that's the norm now.
Wow! How do you sleep at night knowing how much pressure you put Jean under?
When you put it like that, I do feel quite ashamed. I suppose I should give her one on the house next time she's here. Although, I doubt the acting Grandmaster even has the time to spare for that.
Sounds like a poor excuse to deny Jean a free drink. Come on, let's go and see Jean.
And of course, I can't continue the quest because another quest is active.
What's the
Gonna have to clear that up. Yep. Claim my key. Oh, time to give the TCG a go. This is probably something I'm going to do off screen a bit.
welcome to the Cat's Tail. Ah, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What a nice surprise. Oh, and Sucrose the Alchemist. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm afraid I've already told you before. Fur from the Cat's Tail staff is not for sale, no matter how much Mora you offer.
Jesus Christ! Sucrose, you have no boundaries. No, we already have that for Paimon. They're not quite similar enough for me to give them the same archetype.
Don't worry, Margaret. We're not here for that research project I told you about last time. Sucrose, what kind of experiment were you trying to do with the cat's tail? I just wanted to test out some hypotheses, and I needed some materials. But, we can talk about that later. Actually, Margaret, we're here to learn more about Genius Invocation TCG.
Ah, Genius Invocation TCG. We were just talking about that game. You see, more and more people have been gathering at the Cat's Tail to play, so I thought, why not have a dedicated staff to serve the new customers?
Allow me to interpret. Prince says that the word customer is much too loose of a term, and we should instead refer to anyone who loves dueling with cards as TCG players.
My mistake. So it seems I haven't introduced you yet. This is Prince and Shuyan. They will be in charge of taking care of our TCG players.
I'm afraid I must correct you there, ma'am. Only Prince, the strongest and most formidable TCG player of all, is capable. The average player is incapable of grasping the subtlety and sheer genius behind Prince's every play, and he has no choice but to rely on me to communicate with everyone. I am merely Prince's lowly assistant, that's all.
I dislike every single word coming out of this guy's mouth.
Wow! Another guy who can understand animals!
How can you use such a crude word as animal to describe the one and only Prince? He is special and the only one of his kind. Such a remark is an insult to Prince. Oh? What's that? Shuyan. In the eyes of the common folk, I look no different than any other ordinary cat. It's a
It seems he really is capable of communicating with the cat. Could this be the result of some modification to the language center of his brain? Seriously, how can he get all of that from a simple meow?
It's pretty
It was
weird.
the duels of Genius Invocation TCG that allowed our hearts to bond. It's
So, playing Genius Invocation TCG... somehow Paimon doubts that.
Anyway, if you'd like to know anything about Genius Invocation TCG, then please ask Shuyan, who will ask Prince. Though I'd love to explain more myself, it's time for my daily walk. I'll let Prince play a game with you and walk you.
Just as a seasoned warrior can foresee the path of his opponent's sword, so too can I, as a TCG master, predict my opponent. That's what.
Oh, Prince doesn't want to play with us, huh?
I'm sorry, but from the day I met the mighty card master Prince, I swore an oath that my hands would live solely to hold the cards and not to play them.
If Prince is unwilling to play, then I guess we should look for an alternative.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. What is it? I'm pretty busy over here, you know?
Alright, this is a lot more entertaining. Let's in Cuttail. Looks like she's a playable character.
it that every player that sets foot in here to play Genius Invocation TCG has to have a drink? Ugh! Don't they have any clue that the key to playing a game is the ability to think straight?
Dang, she really doesn't like alcohol. She's got to be playable.
Seriously, games and drinks don't mix. Don't they get that? Ugh.
What can I say? As the tavern owner, I can't help but feel happy to hear this. Anyway, I see you've been working hard, so I thought you could use a break. So why not come over here and teach these customers the rules of Genius Invocation?
Ha! Ha ha! Yeah, what kind of break is that? I'd rather not. Oh, why are we letting all these loafers come in here to play Genius Invocation TCG anyway? All it does is encourage more people to come to the bar for a drink.
She really
If
doesn't.
drink sales keep going up like this, pretty soon Mondstadt's alcohol industry is gonna reach new heights.
She really doesn't like alcohol.
Looks like my first step in destroying Mondstadt's alcohol industry should be stamping out the spread of Genius Invocation TCG.
I'm listening.
My dear, you are quite mistaken. You said it yourself, a clear mind is necessary to win. Soon, their thirst for victory will overcome their thirst for alcohol.
Naive as all heck.
Prince speaks the truth, Diona. Not only is the spread of Genius Invocation TCG no obstacle to your goal of destroying Mondstadt's alcohol industry, it could even support you in this endeavor.
Could it really?
Don't buy it.
Sure, why not? Alrighty then. Our 2 customers are waiting to learn. Shuyan, let's put you on drink mixing duty for now.
But Shu Yan is destined for a far greater purpose.
Shuyan, drink mixing, now.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. We'll need some space to learn. Let's go to that. Okay, let's go through the rules. First things first. You'll be needing your deck, so place that on the table.
Deck?
Yes?
Tends to be
You
rather
should have
important in
built a deck.
TCGs.
You know, a set of cards that meets the bare minimum requirement to play the game. What's with the blank stares? Come on. Don't tell me you came to learn Genius Invocation TCG without bringing any cards. Yeah, we need a practice deck. Can't you just let us use one? Psh, there's no such thing. Okay, let me think. Oh, that reminds me. A few days ago, when I was closing up for the night, I noticed a customer had
Are you sure that...
It's already been a few days, and he still hasn't come back to claim them. Who knows? Maybe he left them here on purpose. Oh, okay, yeah, I got them here with me. You know, just in case the customer came looking for them. Yeah, not because I like to play the game or anything. Please.
Not fooling me.
Alright, so now we have 2 character cards. That's everything we need, right? Yep. So, are you ready to start? Alright, then let's begin. Welcome to the... Simply put, this is a game where you control character. Once you've defeated all of your opponent's character, now then, you're gonna need a character on the field to...
Luke. Kaya.
Let's go.
First, we roll 8 elemental... These dice correspond to elemental energy. We'll be spending... Once the roll phase is over, you'll enter the action phase. During the action phase, you can spend Of course, the most common action is to use... During the action phase, both sides will take turns making their moves. After you use a skill to attack your opponent. And as you can see, once the enemy finishes... Now, these are Omni-Element dice. So, we're gonna use them to pay for the Pyro dice needed for... That was pretty good! But the game has only just begun. As much as we'd like... In that case, after you end round, you won't be able to do... And once everyone chooses end round... All right! Here we are! And a fresh new round means time to roll the dice again. That's how we're... Ooh, that's some terrible luck. But don't worry, situations like these are why we have the option to re-roll. Once per round, you can select all the dice that you don't like. When the action phase begins, the player who first chose end round in the previous round takes their turn first. This means that since you finished first the last round, you'll be the first. Alrighty then, let's learn a little bit about energy. Each time you use a skill, your character will gain 1 energy. Once Diluc's energy is full, he can use a powerful elemental... Never mind, let's start with... Diluc's normal attack only needs 1 pyro die and 2 other dice of any type. In any case, your normal attack needs fewer pyro die. Now we have 3 energy, plus we have enough. It's time to...
Your verdict is...
In an actual game of Genius Invocation. Next up, it's time for your second... Oh, it seems like any move by Kai is gonna cost quite a... When you deal cryo damage, you'll cause your target to be affected by cryo.
Cool it!
Good! Now our opponent is affected by cryo. Different types of elemental damage affect enemies with different elements. When an elemental reaction, at the moment, your opponent is affected by cryo. So we should try and use a... Oh, that reminds me. Both sides must have 1 active character. Normally, we can only use the app. Now, If we want to use the skills of our stam, in this case, we'll have to switch to... You can spend one elemental die of any kind to switch a standby character to the active character.
Let's go.
Switching characters is an action, just like using a skill. Most skills can only target the active character. As you can see, your opponent just attacked. Alright then, now that Diluc is our Because the opponent is already affected by cryo, dealing pyro damage triggers the melt elemental reaction. When triggered, melt increases damage dealt by 2. This will allow you to deal loads of damage in one go. Alright! Next up, let's learn how to use card types other than character cards. These cards are all known. Each time a match starts, you have to draw 5. Uh-oh. Looks like we don't have any elemental dice we can spend to make an attack. Seriously? We still don't have any usable dice even after that reroll? Well, never mind. Even in cases like this, we can still attack. We just need to put the action cards in our hand to good use. Don't underestimate action cards. They can grant all kinds of support and buffs to your active character. Take this one, for example. So playing this action card will require 2 of these. See the symbol? Yeah, that means you'll need to play elemental dice of the same type. Some other cards will cost you these instead. The cost requirements for these are... We'll cross that bridge when we get there, though. For now, just play this action card. So, playing an action card from your hand is a form of fast action. Fast actions, simply put. You can continue to act even after playing an action card. But wait, Diluc's elemental skill costs 3 pyro.
Whoops.
Not a problem. This is where we can use a more... By discarding 1 card from your hand, you can convert 1 elemental die into the element of your current... And this card isn't useful right now. So, we might... Sometimes, you won't... Ingenious invocation, TCG. Keeping up a constant flow of... In this case, well... let's just like playing cards from your hand. Come on, hurry up! Use elemental tuning to get... Well, would you look at that? Finally, we now have enough elemental dice to use Searing Onslaught! Because you have the White-Iron Greatsword equipped, Searing Onslaught will deal 1 extra damage! What?
Dang. I'm getting sleepy. This isn't going to be a very long stream like this.
Now comes the final part! Hoo-yeah! In a real match, you can make adjustments to your initial hand. At this time, we can select any number of cards in our hand to shuffle back into the draw pile, and then draw the same number of new cards. Once you have confirmed any adjustments you wish to make to your starting hand, both players have to select their starting active character at the same time. Oh boy, this one's a... Let's see how you do this time. Remember,
This will be interesting.
Hey, look at you! You sure are getting the hang of these rolls. You can preview your opponent's actions. Check it out. So here's where you can see all your opponent's intentions. All your opponent's intended actions for the round will be listed here in order. Reference this to come up with effective countermeasures. And, well then, that's the end of...
Cool it! Let's finish this swiftly.
Wait. There's every time you hit an end phase, you get to drop. Remember, you have to make use of both your elemental dice.
That'll do.
All right, cool. What we just played was an adventure challenge designed Genius Invocation TCG can be played in duel mode, where each player brings 3 character cards. Or but the rules are all the same. As long
Although I feel there are still many details to grasp.
That was quite the detailed explanation. I didn't know the cats.
What? Oh, when did you get here?
Of course she doesn't like Diluc.
I stepped in while you were in the middle of your explanation. I hope I didn't dampen the mood.
Not at all.
Snuck in without making a sound. Anyway, what are you doing here?
The Cat's Tail is a player in Mondstadt's alcohol industry. Naturally, you have some collaboration with my winery. I'm here today to discuss a few items of business with Margaret.
Too bad she just left. But if you head off right now, you might still catch up with her.
You're lying.
Never mind, it's nothing urgent. In fact, I think I'm now more...
Wait, this card? It's Diluc's character card!
Although I have some degree of experience with Genius Invocation TCG.
A customer left it behind a few days ago.
Oh? And what sort of a customer was he?
He wasn't wearing an eye patch, okay? He had a light complexion and a super serious look on his face. He wasn't much of a talker and looked like he was just drinking his worries away. Never seen him around here before.
So, every single... You're lying out your ass, it was Kaya.
Eye patch, you say?
That's Kaya.
I was trying to give the opposite description, but I just ended up giving it away. Sorry, guard captain.
Alright, I have hers. I got her archetype. Honestly, wouldn't have I'm gonna keep the question mark, but that's quite possible. Yeah, this one is quite possible.
Don't worry. Somehow, I don't think he'll be giving you any trouble over it.
But you may be giving him trouble over it.
So, what about the Diluc character card?
I don't mind. It's just a card with my image on it.
Okay.
I didn't expect Diluc to be familiar with Genius Invocation TCG.
The game has been catching on lately. It's hard to go anywhere without hearing it mentioned. Every now and then, I'll sit down and play a game with the I was hoping we could play a game, but this issue of someone leaving... It's getting late, and someone has some explaining to do. Good. Then I'll take my leave.
You know where the door is. Don't let the door hit you where Lord Barbados split you.
Well, that's a new one. At least for me.
Uh-oh. Guard captain.
I hope Kaya will be all right. Well, now that we are familiar with the rules, why don't...
Ooh, 2 new players having their first ever... But, in order to play an official duel, remember, a complete deck has to have 3 characters...
Then, let's use my cards. These were mixed in with all the others I had received. And I didn't know... It looks like we each have the Kaya, Diluc, and Sucro's character cards. So why don't we have our first... All right.
None of my characters uses deep pole arms. I don't use Dendro. I don't have summons. And none of my characters can switch weapons. The only thing on this hand that's even remotely useful is the Dawn Winery.
Unlike the adventure challenge you tried previously, duels are true in a duel, your opponent can also use action cards, and they'll also be able to grab at the same time. Your opponent must also spend elemental dice to take actions, so you'll be unable to... Are you ready? It's time for some exhilarating fights to...
Alright, event card. Shift one artifact card.
Ready when you are.
We're just gonna deny the Animo. They're probably gonna get another one, but I want some ice. Or I could just end up using the non-elementals. When you perform... Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Cool it!
Absolutely vicious, but why not? Now, how did you attack? Alright, I don't need to spend the energy.
Let's finish this swiftly.
Not a lot of options happening here.
Stand clear!
Not using fire this round. I was hoping they'd keep the sucrose. No, gonna hold back on that.
My research... Darn. I didn't factor that into the equation.
I mean, in all technicalities, you made the right decision.
Swirl, Mark 2!
Ooh. Lots of animo dice. Don't want that. Let's see how this works. Okay, that does send both energy. Plus 0. Oh, that was just experimentation.
Absorption test! Absorption test!
There can be no excuse for defeat.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
This will be interesting.
Alright. Now you're in trouble because you can't even kill. Alright, I win.
This doesn't look good.
I can't believe I lost when we had the exact same character cards. The rules must be more... Every decision is a difficult trade-off in this game. If there was only a way to transplant the arms of the two standby characters onto the active character's body.
That's not how the rules work, Sucrose. Don't be a sore loser. That kind of thing is looked down on in...
Oh, I am sorry. I was beaten fair and square. I know that. I just can't stand losing. But it was a fun match.
Paimon didn't know you could get so competitive.
I always get a little upset when I lose. It's like that with my research, too. It always gets to me when my experiments don't go as planned. Especially when there's an alchemy genius like Albedo around to compare myself to.
You lost me at alchemy and experiments. But I'm pretty sure it's normal to feel that way.
That brings to mind an entirely different archetype than I would expect for Sucrose. Is she a sore loser archetype? That would be unusual. But such a person would enjoy experimentation.
Playing cards is no different. Each game you lose makes you want to win the next one to settle the score. And the desire to win pushes you to improve your strategy and build a better deck.
Oh, if she is that archetype, I wouldn't expect her to just be a sore loser. I would also expect her to be really salty about it.
Seizing victory through a winning combination of luck, skill, and experience is...
But what if you keep trying and trying?
A losing streak, yeah. That'll definitely get you down. But it's way better to keep trying until...
You make a good point, Diona.
Besides, Sucrose, you're already making great progress. It'd take at least 8 of our regular booze hounds to match your level.
Thank you. I'm just a little disappointed to lose. That's
Good. Having fun is the main thing. If you ever want to play again in the future, feel free to come by the Cat's Tail. But don't expect me to play with you.
I'll definitely...
All right. I think you should have all the basics down by now. I need to get back to bartending. Burning Mondstadt's wine industry to the...
Alright, that's enough of that. Oh my goodness, she's already in a different quest. Ah.
It's been getting
Alright, back to the game. You get primogems by reading these tutorials. That's a very odd reason to get primogems. Okay.
Hey, you two!
Margaret? What are you doing here?
My cat's gone missing. Have you seen it?
You mean Diana?
No, not her. I imagine Diona's probably still in
Diona.
the tavern. I mean, little Princey. Prince was just home, now he's gone.
Did you seriously think Diona was a house cat?
No,
This is
I
a bit
didn't.
worrying. What if Prince can't find his way home?
Nah, you're always such a big softie. But aren't we in the middle of something?
Yes, this.
Sarah and Charles need our help urgently, too.
You're on the way to see Jean? What?
Paimon thought you were looking for a cat.
Yes, I wanted to see if Jean could help look for my cat.
Seriously? You want Jean to help look for your cat?
What's wrong with that? Jean's a really nice person. Please mention it to Jean from me. I'll treat you to a brew at Cat's Tail later.
Hey! Hey! Ugh, unbelievable! Guess the case of...
Jean! Uh-oh. Jean sick?
Acting Grandmaster? Oh, Master Jean?
Master Jean?
Oh, it's our honorary knight. Sorry, I must have been daydreaming. How can I assist?
Actually, it's not us who need your help. It's a bunch of other people.
I see. Well, thank you for your service to the people of Mondstadt. I have made a note of these commissions in my files, and I will make arrangements accordingly.
Overwork.
Great! We didn't miss out on anyone's commissions, did we? Sarah's hilly churls, Charles' tax return, Margaret's cat. Seems that's everything. We'll be on our way then, Jean. Jean, are you okay? How's Jean holding up? Is it serious?
It's just burnout from work stress. She'll be fine after a good old rest. Thanks for bringing her here. She may have tried to keep soldiering on otherwise.
It's not a surprise, though. She does have a lot to get through every day.
Poor Jean. She's always been one to push herself too hard while overlooking her own needs. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. Anyway, you're an honorary knight, aren't you? While the master is down, then...
That's a very good point, but shouldn't one of the fully qualified knights do that?
Calling them qualified is a stretch.
Jean has so much to do. An extra pair of hands can't hurt. You should go and check in at the headquarters.
Paimon feels like she's trying to get rid of us.
Why
But
is
Jean really needs to learn how to delegate better.
Nothing. We'll leave you to it. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, my desire to sleep has gotten to be too much. Didn't even stream for an hour. Maybe I'll